There comes a moment when nice isn't enough, when playing small becomes a prison, when the world pushes you so far, you either break or become a monster. You weren't born to live timid, soft, or afraid. You were designed to dominate, but life has a way of burying power beneath politeness. It's time to shed the fear, the approval-seeking, the hesitation. It's time to awaken what God placed inside you, the beast of purpose, the monster of destiny. Let's talk about what it really means to become a monster. When God gave you vision, He didn't consult the crowd. You weren't made to seek approval. You were made to move with authority. A monster doesn't knock on the door of opportunity, it kicks it in. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. If you're breathing, it is your time. Heaven is waiting for you to rise, not tomorrow, now. Too many destinies die in the waiting room of permission. Too many warriors sit on the sidelines because they're still hoping someone will validate their value. But let me tell you something, greatness doesn't wait to be invited. It shows up unannounced, unashamed, and unapologetic. God didn't put greatness in you so you could hide it behind people's opinions. You don't need confirmation from the crowd when you've already received a commission from your calling wasn't a conference call. Not everyone heard what God told you, and they don't need to. Obedience is your job. Results are God's. This is the hour to stop playing small. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Stop shrinking your roar just because others can't handle the sound of your rising. If God trusted you with a vision, He expects you to carry it with boldness. A monster doesn't apologize for taking up space. A monster doesn't ask if it's okay to win, to build, to rise, to break chains, to change nations. Monster moves because destiny demands it, purpose pushes it, heaven backs it. You weren't created to blend in with the mediocre. You were born to stand out with the mighty. That divine vision burning in your heart is not a suggestion, it's an assignment. And assignments require action, not approval. David didn't ask his brothers if he could fight Goliath. He saw a giant, he felt the anointing, and he moved. That's the mindset of a monster. That's what separates those who watch history from those who make it. And let me tell you, hell doesn't fear the talented, it fears the bold, the ones who step out even when they feel unqualified, the ones who speak when silence would be safer, the ones who walk in rooms with no title but carry the weight of God's power. The moment you stop waiting and start walking, the atmosphere shifts, because monsters don't wait to be introduced. They arrive and shift the room. You don't need another sign. You don't need more time. You don't need 10 people to agree. You just need to believe that what God placed inside of you is enough. And when you believe that, really believe it, you stop knocking, you stop asking, you stop delaying, you step in, you take over, you move with the authority of heaven behind your every step. This is your moment. This is your call to rise. God didn't give you that vision to decorate your dreams. He gave it to activate your dominion. Now go. Stop asking. Start advancing. Be the monster hell hope would never wake up. Desire is weak without discipline. A monster doesn't run on emotions, it runs on commitment. You may feel tired, but you choose to keep going. That's the mindset of dominion. You don't need motivation when you've got mission. Wake up every day with a growl in your spirit, a schedule in your hand, and a fire in your bones. That's how monsters are made. Monsters don't rise because they feel like it. They rise because they must. They're not led by how inspired they are. They're led by how focused they are. Anyone can want success. but not everyone is willing to structure their life around it. That's where discipline separates the average from the unstoppable. It's not what you dream about at night that determines your destiny. It's what you do when the alarm clock goes off at 5 a.m. and your body begs you to stay in bed. That's the battlefield, and monsters win that war daily. You don't become great by accident. You become great by repetition, by doing the hard thing over and over until it becomes second nature. Monsters don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it with consistency. While others are swayed by moods, monsters are anchored by habits. They eat the same grind, walk the same routines, hit the same goals, and do it all without applause, because they understand every small act of discipline is a brick in the fortress of their future. Desire fades when life hits hard. Emotion crumbles when pain knocks on the door. But discipline stands tall. It says, I'm not here to feel good. I'm here to finish strong. You've got to train yourself to push past feelings and into faithfulness. God doesn't bless laziness wrapped in passion. He honors faithfulness wrapped in order. And order requires that you do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Monsters know that excuses are luxury items, and they're too focused to afford them. You'll never see a monster making excuses for inconsistency. Why? Because they understand that time is a non-refundable resource. Once it's gone, so they guard it, they schedule it, they command it, because a life of purpose demands a life of structure. The truth is, discipline doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. You become someone who no longer depends on external energy. You generate your own. You don't wait for a push, you become the push. Every workout, every study session, every hard conversation, every early morning, every sacrifice, it adds up, and it builds something inside of you that desire alone never could. Unstoppable momentum. So when the world tells you to follow your heart, a monster says, no, I follow my calendar. When the crowd gets distracted, the monster gets focused, because a monster understands purpose without discipline is just potential wasted. And if you're going to rise, if you're going to reign, if you're going to walk in the power God gave you, you must master the discipline that fuels dominion. That's how monsters are made. Every day, one decision at a time, relentless, unshaken, focused, disciplined. That's the real difference. Greatness isn't forged in comfort, it's born in chaos. The storm isn't your enemy, it's your environment. Monsters don't run from the dark, they dominate in it. When others panic, you plan. When others retreat, you rise. Stop praying for ease and start preparing for excellence. God didn't promise a smooth road. He promised strength for the journey. You were never designed to fold in the face of adversity. You were crafted by the Creator to function in pressure, to find focus in the fog, to see clearly when others are blinded by fear. The darkness is not your destruction, it's your development. It's where God hides champions while He trains them in silence. The world may not see you in the dark, but heaven is working on you there. Monsters don't need applause to be dangerous. They are sharpened in solitude and baptized in trials. While others pray for the light, monsters become light. You don't wait for the environment to change. You show up and change it. The darkness was never meant to scare you. It was meant to show you, to expose what's inside you. You never know what you carry until life squeezes you. You never know the depth of your spirit until everything goes quiet. And you're forced to lead without a crowd. That's when the monster awakens, not in celebration, but in confrontation. Every giant you face is simply another opportunity to unlock the strength God buried inside you. You were built for this. You were not made to run, you were made to rule. That's why the storm came, not to stop you, but to summon you. A monster doesn't fear the unknown because it walks by revelation, not by sight. When everything around you looks uncertain, you anchor yourself in what God said. That's what makes you unshakable. You got a word, a promise, a fire burning deep within you that no darkness can drown. And while others are praying for the exit, you're praying for endurance. You understand that shortcuts cheapen success and comfort weakens character. You don't want easy, you want eternal. You don't want shallow applause, you want supernatural assignment. That's why you've been misunderstood. That's why you've been isolated, because monsters are not made in the spotlight, they're made in the shadows. You were never called to blend in, you were chosen to break out. The fire didn't come to consume you, it came to reveal you. God allows darkness not to hide you, but to shape you, because what He's building in you can't be rushed. And when it's time, the same darkness that concealed you will become the stage that reveals you. So stop flinching. Stop asking for escape. The chaos isn't punishment, it's preparation. The valley isn't defeat, it's design. You don't need the conditions to be perfect, you just need to be positioned. Monsters own the dark because they own themselves. And when you own yourself, there is no environment that can overpower you. You bring the kingdom with you. You are the atmosphere. Now rise. What hurt you was never meant to hold you. It's easy to get caught up in the weight of your pain, to allow it to chain you down and dictate the story of your life. But listen carefully. Every scar you carry, every wound that has left its mark is not a symbol of defeat. It is a testament to your survival. It is proof that you have endured what many others could not. Pain is not your prison. It is your platform. It is the training ground where the strongest parts of your character are forged. A monster does not run from pain or allow it to define them. Instead, a monster looks pain squarely in the eye and says, "Thank you for the training." This is not mere bravado. It is a declaration of faith and strength. When the enemy tried to use your pain as a weapon against you, God was already at work, transforming that same pain into a source of power. What was meant to break you becomes the very thing that builds you. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You have the power to choose how you respond to your hardships. You can either let your wounds fester and become sources of bitterness, or you can let them heal and become wells of wisdom. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every setback holds a lesson if you are willing to listen. The monster inside you recognizes that lessons learned through pain are lessons that last a lifetime. This is why resilience is born from struggle. It is not the absence of pain, but the decision to rise above it. The difference between those who are defeated by life and those who dominate it is not luck or privilege. It is the willingness to turn pain into power. When you reflect on your past hurts, do not see only what was lost or what was taken from you. See instead what was gained, the strength, the perspective, the faith that grew deeper because you refused to be defeated. Every wound is a weapon in your arsenal. You carry the scars not as marks of shame, but as badges of honor. They remind you of battles fought, lessons learned, and victories won. Your pain has shaped you into a warrior, someone who refuses to be silenced or subdued. This transformation happens when you embrace your pain as part of your story, not the end of it. The truth is, God specializes in turning what the enemy meant for harm into something beautiful and powerful. What Satan intends for destruction, God repurposes for your destiny. This is the divine exchange, pain in for power out. It may not happen overnight, and it may require patience and perseverance, but it will happen. Your journey through pain is not wasted. It is preparing you for purpose. The monster inside you understands that no matter how deep the hurt, there is a greater purpose waiting on the other side. So let your pain become your platform. Stand on it, don't bury it. Use it to elevate yourself and inspire others. Your testimony, your story of overcoming is a beacon of hope for those still trapped in their own struggles. You have been through the fire and come out refined. Remember, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. You are not broken, you are becoming. Let pain be the fuel that propels you forward, not the anchor that holds you back. Embrace your power, own your story, and walk boldly into the destiny that pain helped prepare you for. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. This is not just a saying, it is a profound spiritual truth that cannot be ignored. Every word you speak has weight, it carries energy, it sets into motion forces that either build or destroy. A monster understands this power deeply. He does not waste words on doubt, fear, or uncertainty. Instead, he declares destiny with boldness. You see, in a world where many settle for quiet despair or passive acceptance, the monster rises by commanding the unseen. Every sentence, every declaration is a seed planted in the spiritual realm, and these seeds grow into reality. When you speak, you're not merely making noise, you are creating your future. Language is not neutral, it's a tool of war in the spiritual battlefield. Lazy language, words spoken without conviction or thought, leave you vulnerable. They open doors to doubt and invite confusion. In contrast, powerful speech acts as a shield and a sword. You must speak with intention, with precision, with fire. A monster knows that the moment words leave the lips, they become active forces influencing the environment around them. If you want to change your life, your family, your community, you start by changing your words. Speak healing into broken situations. Speak victory over challenges that seem insurmountable. Speak life where there is death, hope where there is despair. The difference between average speech and monster speech is the recognition of authority. When a monster speaks, it is with the voice of someone who knows who sent them, who understands their identity and purpose. This voice is not hesitant or uncertain. It is powerful, unwavering, and fearless. It resonates with confidence, born from a connection to something greater than oneself. You don't have to rely on your own strength because you speak on behalf of a divine authority that moves mountains. When you claim that power, your words carry a supernatural weight that commands change. Think about how often we diminish the power of our words. We complain about our circumstances, but speak defeat. We say, I can't more than I can. We let fear dictate the tone of our conversations, but the monster refuses to live in that place. The monster understands that the tongue is not just a part of the body, it is a spiritual weapon. Words have the ability to heal wounds, to mend relationships, to restore hope, and to declare freedom. They can tear down strongholds, break curses, and release blessings. A monster uses their speech strategically, aware that every phrase is either reinforcing their bondage or proclaiming their breakthrough. It's time to take ownership of your words. Begin to speak with purpose. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for everything to be aligned. Speak now. Speak bold. Speak truth. Even when circumstances say otherwise, declare victory. Affirm your identity. Proclaim your calling. The tongue is your front line in the battle for your destiny. When you speak with fire, you ignite passion, you light the way forward, and you shake the very foundations of opposition. Remember, you are not just a passive observer in your life, you are an active creator. Your words build your reality. So embrace the power of speech. Speak with the fire of a monster and watch as mountains move, obstacles fall, and your purpose unfolds before you. Your voice is your weapon. Wield it with courage, with conviction, and with faith. You were never called to be ordinary. You weren't put here to play safe, sit still, or seek permission. You were sent to shake the earth. You were chosen to conquer, to create, to command your space with unapologetic power. So stop shrinking, stop stalling, dig deep, pray hard, and become a monster. Because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs the real you, fully unleashed.